Screen.
Downloaded the software.
Okay, thank you.
So anyone feels any problem by downloading the software, you just take note. Okay. So
So it's already
now
10 minutes past 2.
can you just
So I think I can start my session, right? So last class we studied about so many different things about software engineering. I think I went with this. I did not do with some of the other frequently discussed questions. Okay. The next, okay, before starting, I hope are you clear with what is software, what is hardware, what is software engineering. Then, yes, these are the things what you studied. What is a software? What are the attributes of a good software? I told you so many parameters. Some of you said, ma'am, what do you mean by attributes of a good software? See, they are the way in which you measure whether a software is correct or good or not. I gave you an example. If I want to say whether a student is good or not, I measure through certain parameters, right? Simply, can I say whether a student is good or not? No. There are certain things through which I measure whether he attends classes regularly, whether he writes its assignments and internals, all that, right? So, like that only, we have attributes for measuring whether a software is good or bad. Simply, no, someone cannot judge a software whether it is good or bad. So, there are attributes. And what are those attributes? Some of them are given here are functionality of that software, performance, maintainable, dependable, and usable. I hope you are all clear with what these means. What is the functionality attribute means? Yeah, functionality means, see, this you will be learning I mean, this you will be coming across very often. So that's why once you have studied now, I just don't want to repeat it again and again. That's why I'm explaining it now here. Functionality means whatever is required by that software, it is performing that job. Performance, yes, it is performing, it is doing that job, but it is taking too much of time, or it is taking too much of resources in the sense time, processing power, as well as time. Okay, so that is performance. Fine. It should be maintainable. It should be maintainable in the sense, if I want to make later some changes, it should be I it should be easier to make those changes. Next is dependable. Yes, dependable is something like reliable. I'm it's not that sometimes it will fail and sometimes it will work. It is not like that. So if I'm dependent, then it will work 100% of the times. Usable. Usable is nothing but easeability in using the software. That is, your software is easy to use. Or easy does not mean that yes, look and feel or something like that. It should, everyone should be able to see that, or maybe yes, traversing the pages and all, and it should not be confusing, and there should be proper steps that are followed. That is nothing but usable. Am I clear with all the attributes here? Yes, students. Okay. Next, what is software engineering? It is concerned with all aspects of software production that I have told. Now, what are the fundamental engineering activities of software engineering? I will remove this slide and I want you to tell what are the fundamental activities. Shall I call out names? Ishita, what are the different fundamental activities in software engineering? Even if it is wrong, I don't care. But at least I want to see whether you're in the class or not. Ishita Pan Ishita Pandit. Not there. Abhijit. Abhijit is also not there. Sudhir. Yeah, people I'm asking, no one is responding. Kavya, Yusuf Khan, all these of you. The names which I called out, what are they doing? Ishita, who Abhijit, okay, Harishwini DC. Yes, Ishita, what are the fundamental activities in software engineering? Pranati, I think. Pranati, what you have given four, it is correct. But please make it a point that you always give the order. It is always specification, development, validation, and evolution. Ma'am, yes, I got confused. See, this is what you do it in exams. I am sure it always happens for everyone. Maybe I have handled it so many times, I will tell in order. But it is not easy for you to remember that I also agree. So don't do something like you know there is something first, it will come. Second and third you don't know, or third you don't know, the fourth one you know. Don't leave one blank space. Okay? Leave one blank space and then write what you know. The one which you did not know, you try to put it at the later time when you remember. But don't waste your time thinking about something in your software engineering subject, because there are so much things to write. What happens is, if you forget one term and if you keep on waiting for that, you will miss the whole answer. So always it is specification first one, second one is development. Always remember a cake thing. Yeah, what you I always give that cake order, a customized cake, right? In order to give a customized cake, first you go to the cake shop and say what you require. That is what is specification. Then they come up with that cake, right? The person there, then that is nothing but development. Then next is validation. Validation means you are testing it, you are checking it whether it is good or not. That is the third step. After that, evolution. This time if you have taken black forest or almond or something like that, you will think you would have seen something else, someone would have seen, right? In web, wow, that is next time for someone's birthday I will order the other cake. That is nothing but evolution. So it is specification. So will you test it, or so nothing will come first. It is always specification, development, validation, and evolution. Requirements, development, testing, and evolution. Okay, am I clear? Never forget that. Then you have what is software engineering and computer science. Difference between system engineering and software engineering. Software engineering is a discipline of system engineering. Okay, whereas computer science focuses on theories, fundamentals, algorithm. Software engineering is only concerned with developing and delivering useful software. Fine. Next, let's go to this one. Actually, I did this one, essential attributes. Did I do this? Key challenges facing software engineering. I think I directly went to attributes. Okay, I will do it. What are the key challenges facing in software engineering? Coping with increasing diversity, demands for reduced delivery time, and developing trustworthy software. Now, first one is increasing diversity. What do I mean by increasing diversity? Diversity means nowadays software is being used by people in all walks of life. It can be people with limited knowledge, more knowledge, educated, uneducated, people from different countries, people with all walks of lives are using it. So naturally there is a diversity there. So your software should be able to meet that diversity. Not only that, people using the companies for which you are presenting, okay, for certain companies, what you are developing, maybe there is slight changes. See, if Infosys comes up with a product like a education website or banking application, let's take for banking application. If they come up with a banking application for ICICI, next time maybe HDFC also wants that product, okay. So even though there is the same kind of banking application, there are little bit changes what they require. So it does not mean that every time they will develop a new one. No, they have to make changes in the software to handle this diversity. Okay. Demands for reduced delivery times. What does that mean? So today, if I say do something, and today if you ask for, a customer asks us to do deliver some product, okay, now he will set a timeline and a deadline for that. It is not that you will take your own sweet time to complete. What happens, ma'am? See, it may be customized. There are two products, right? Generic and customized. Do you remember what is generic product and what is customized software? Yes, generic and customize. Generic means for everyone, customize means only for a particular customer. So what happens is in both the cases, okay, if there is a customer, he will give you a timeline and you will develop it within that timeline. So usually they will have a rigid time requirement. So for generic product, ma'am, can I develop whenever I want? Take years together to develop a product? Can we do like that? Is it feasible? No. Why, Lavanya? Why can't I take? No one is there to ask me or tell me, finish it. I will take my own time, years together. I will do a 5-year plan on one simple product. Will it work that way? It can come under generic. I am coming up with a general product. Some customer will be interested, I feel. Imagine today is some requirement. Yes. Good, Aryan. See, imagine today I come up with a requirement, latest requirement. Okay, let's say for this COVID situation only, to solve this problem of online class or something like that, I come up, someone says, come up with the online mode of education means for our college. Fine. Now, when they give the requirements, imagine there is no deadline for it. You are doing something that you feel that everyone will take. Can you take 2 years to develop that product? What happens? By that time, COVID would have been gone. Offline classes would have begun. Who will care for your online teaching course? Are you getting? See, requirements will be coming and it will be changing. So, if you keep on taking your own time or if you don't deliver quickly, what happens is your product will become outdated. So, in order to do that, in order to solve that, you have to, the demand is to deliver the software at the earliest. Last type point is developing a trustworthy software. Trustworthy means something which is secure. Even though, yes, I come up with an online application tool, but it is not secure in like Zoom. People will log in and do whatever they want. Then, does your software has any this thing? No, right? So these are the key challenges. One is diversity, then delivery times, that is reduced delivery times. The other one is developing a trustworthy software. Am I clear with the 3 points? So shall I go further? Next is cost of software engineering. So most of the times 60% of the cost is the development cost, 40% is the testing cost. For custom software, evolution cost often exceeds the development cost. So what does it mean is once you when you are developing a software, how do you estimate the cost is 60% of the cost will be the development cost. That is out of 100 rupees. If it is 100 rupees, then 60 rupees you will be spending on the most of the times. We can't say always. So 60 rupees will be spent on development, 40% on the testing. Now, what about software evolution? Most of the time, evolution cost will be more than the development cost. I hope you all know, right? Yes, sometimes you buy the product for very low cost, but every time, every year, when you want to upgrade the license, it will be more than the actual cost. Fine, how much you paid together. So that is what the software engineering cost is. What are the best software engineering techniques and methods? Now, what do you mean by best software engineering techniques and methods? See, like any other technology, there are a number of techniques in software engineering also. And there are number of methods to do this software, to develop a software. I said rules and guidelines, right? There are a number of rules and guidelines, and some of them are good, some of them are bad. Ma'am, then why did they come up with bad software engineering techniques or methods? There is nothing like bad. It is like some applications use some of the techniques which are good, and for some applications there are other techniques which are good. What do you I mean by different techniques for different softwares? Softwares are usually classified into different types. What do I mean by different types of softwares? Let's take for example, here they say games. Game is a kind of a software, right? Yes. Similarly, I have safety critical control system. It is also a type of software. Are you able to understand? Maybe safety critical control systems. Let's say for fire alarm systems. Okay. Now, I have two teams in your class. One of the team, I'll give you an example. Different types of software. What does it mean? Okay. Let's say there is. So Kavya, what did you want me to repeat, Kavya? Actually, no, I will be seeing my presentation. So I will, which one? The first point. Okay. I will be seeing my presentation. My screen will be there. So I will not, wouldn't have seen your chat messages till some certain time. So if I miss something like that, let me know. Once I see your chat messages, I will go back to it. Otherwise, you can switch on your microphone and let me know. No issues with that. Okay. First point I didn't get. Which is the first point here? Key challenges, sir.
What about Nishant Ajit? What is the problem that facing?
Okay. Let me finish this. I will revise once again. Fine. So I said there are different types of applications. Now, the first type of application, let me say, in your class there are two groups. Group A is doing some developing some game. Fine. And group B is developing a fire alarm system for our floor, CSE staff room. Okay. Now, what do we do? Can you just go on developing without what we for gaming? The people who are working on the gaming software, they need not have to worry too much. They will come up with one initial version of the game, and later they will say whether they will check how it is working and all, and later they will take the feedback and they will develop the second version. Okay. Now, the people who are working on the fire alarm system, can they work like that only? Something they will develop and they will try to test, put some fire on the floor and see whether it is working or not. Can they do like that? Did you understand what I'm telling? Yes? Can it work like that? A fire alarm system, you can just simply test it directly in the um, environment without actually testing it properly or taking care into safety measures? No, right? So the type of software which you are developing for gaming is different, and the type of software which you are developing for fire alarm system is different. So each of these types, this is known as different types of software. This is gaming, then mission critical application or safety applications, software which is developed for what satellites and all, these are mission critical applications. Those softwares which are developed for robots, movement of robot arms and all, can you just leave it without testing properly and can you put it into use? No, right? Okay, certain other softwares may be web applications. Those also, they are not mission critical applications. You can leave it, you can test it, and you can change. So based on the different types of softwares, there are different software engineering techniques. You will learn more about these techniques in your textbook this time. Okay, so there are different techniques in software engineering, right? You can apply these techniques for different types of software. We don't say which is best or which is bad, worst. For based on the type of software, we will apply a particular technique. Okay, I can give you a real time of example here. Now, there are 60 students or something. Do all the 60 students study like all the same way? Some may be study at the morning, some may study at the night, some will study only during the 10 days before the exam. Fine. But can we say which is good and which is bad? The one who is gets up early person, can we tell him that no, you have to study at night? Can he do that? No, right? For each person will use his own best ways to improve his marks, right? Similarly, here there are a number of software engineering techniques or methods, and each of them we apply for each of the applications. Fine. So we don't say which is best or which is bad. So based on a particular type of application, we use different software engineering techniques. Fine. Am I clear? So you will learn all these techniques and methods in your software engineering right now. Okay? Understand. So all the methods, guidelines, everything you will learn, everything I will teach. Next semester, when you are implementing a mini project or when you are going to develop a project, you have to think out of the different concepts. You learned three or four concepts. Which one is best for my application? You have to think, analyze, and apply that method for your application, what you are developing, the project. It may not be all of you will select the same, or it may not be some will select whichever is appropriate to them. So now you are learning all the techniques. Next, you will apply these techniques for your software development. Did you get my point? Next you have is what difference has the web made? Web has led to the availability of software services, possibility of developing highly distributed service, yes, based systems, web-based system development as the so nowadays we are using lots of software services which are available through which you can develop a software. Okay. So one of your friends said, so let me revise. What are the key challenges facing software engineering? It means that, yes, can I apply all these techniques to my software development and all that? What are the key challenges? What are the problems or difficulties? Why you require the software engineering? Because of the diversity or changing needs. Okay, it may be changing needs of the customer, it may be changing needs of the people who require or different technologies. Demand for reduced delivery times. Nowadays time is really thing. You just can't take your own sweet time to develop any software. You have to have a strict timeline, and within that you have to deliver. Okay, so when you're using this software engineering, it will reduce the time also, and you have to develop a trustworthy software, that is a secure software, so that no one hacks it or there is no authentication problems. Yeah, who was that? Kavya, am I clear? If you have any specific doubt, let me know. Don't tell me, ma'am, explain it once again, all the things about it. It is like 10-20 minutes. Okay, what you did not understand in that concept, let me know. I can give you more examples on that and make you understand. I hope you get my point. See, the whole thing I explained it in 20 minutes, so it will become very difficult for me to again go on repeat. So if something you did not get, some term or something, but yes, the complete concept what I taught you, I mean, half of the class did not understand, please let me know. Then I will surely explain it again. Two or three people, yes, if they are not understanding, I can tell you, yes, go through it, ask your friends, and come again. I will clear your doubts. But 50 to 60% of you did not understand, then there is something fault in which how I have taught. So naturally, I will repeat it, each and everything again. So, am I clear with this? Okay. The next slide is essential attributes of a good software. I taught you in the last class. I want you to read out. If you have any doubts, I want you to ask. Okay, I'll give you 2 minutes for this. If you don't have any doubts, someone I will after this, after 2 minutes, I will ask someone, you have to answer to me. So if you did not understand anything, you either ask your friends, you Google out, or you remember what I said, and I want you to check. So I'll give you 2 minutes for this. So all of you are clear? So can I proceed? Or if anyone has any. Yes, sir. Yes, Lavanya. Malicious users are unauthenticated person. Yeah, you can take it. Maintainability, it should be able to take changes, or you should be able to make changes easily to the software. Dependability, now dependability is reliability, it works the same all the time. Security and safety, I said security means only authorized people can access. Safety means it will not cause harm to any people. Okay. Next is it should be dependable, no physical or economic damage in case of system failure. Malicious user, yes, unauthenticated users or hackers or all that. Fine. Efficiency, it should use the computer resources efficiently. Efficiency, there is responsiveness, processing and memory. Responsiveness means once you give a request, how fast does it respond? See, if I during your results VTU website, if you give your USN number, the response it takes so much times, right? That means low responsibility, low responsiveness. If it gives your result fast, then high responsiveness. So how good the software response to your request, that is responsiveness. Acceptability, that is you have given the requirements and your software performs according to the requirements, that is nothing but acceptability. It should be understandable, usable and compatible. Fine. Next, software engineering. Software engineering is an engineering discipline that is concerned with all aspects of software production, from the stages of system specification through maintaining the system after it has gone to use. That is what I said. Once you start with collecting your requirements, not even coding, before coding, when you start with collecting your requirements, it will begin from there till maintaining the system. Maintaining in the sense, after development you have released the software and people are using it and giving certain extra requirements to it, that is known as maintaining. Okay. So software engineering, it is concerned with all from the start till the end. Engineering discipline, it uses theories, methods to solve problems, bearing in mind organizational and financial constraints. Now, it has so many methods and ways, or algorithms, methods or techniques, and to solve the different kinds of problems. Yes, certain techniques are uh, like cost economically, they are very high. So based on the organization and financial, you can use these different methods. All aspects of software production, not just technical process of development, also project management, development of tools, methods, etc. to support software production. Now, software engineering, it does not involve only technical side. It also involves project management. Management means you learn more about it, but let me give you an example. How do I divide the task? If there is a software, if I want to divide that into four people are working on that, how do I divide that among those people? Now, once I have divided, how do I monitor the progress of each person doing it? Okay. All this is concerned with all the products which is supported, all these aspects of software production is included in software engineering. Fine. Why is this software engineering important? Ma'am, if I don't use this software engineering, what will happen? Or why is this required? This software engineering techniques, if we use, what happens? We can build a reliable and trustworthy systems, and which are economical and quick. Ma'am, I will build a good system, but I will not follow rules and guidelines. Yes, you can build, but it may take more time and it may involve more cost. So, to build a cost effective system and to deliver a system quickly, we use software engineering. Did you get my point? This is what I said earlier. Whenever people used to develop, companies used to develop, before software engineering came into picture, people used to develop complex projects. What used to happen was, after it reached certain level, they were not able to maintain it or handle it properly. Then, after working for 1 year, they used to realize that this is not going to work, or this is more than what the cost is. Then they used to scrap it. It would be a loss. So, in order to avoid it, they use software engineering principles. So, what is the main aim of software engineering? To develop cost effective softwares quickly. So, two things, economically and quick. Cost and quick. That you require software techniques. Fine. It is usually cheaper in the long run to use software engineering methods. Now, there is the other reason also people use software engineering techniques. Now, I hope most of you know, if you are working on or a software, do software engineers work on in the same company for years together like government office? No, right? Every 6 months, some of them will be changing companies. Do you agree? Do you all know, right? People will be changing their companies. So what they do they take the program what they developed along with them, or it is the property of the company? It is the property of the company, right? What happens? Someone has written a program. He will not tell the company or his colleagues what he has developed or what he has done. Okay, he will keep it to himself and go to another company. What will happen to the company? It will be something like scrap, like. And that too nowadays in software industry, where people or attrition rate means people who leave the company very often, the institute in they are working very high. That was also a problem. So what happens is when they use software engineering techniques, they document or use a definite technology, or they use step-wise step. So even if the person is not there, he has left the company or he is working in a different project or whatever it is, everything is documented, and people will know at what stage he has stopped, or what he is working in. Now, if he is in requirement specification, can someone start with testing phase? Now, if he says, I am working in requirement specification, ಕಾಣಿಸಲ್ವಾ? So sorry guys, someone something they called, so fine. So where was I? Well, yeah, if a person works, if he says he is working in requirements collection phase, so naturally, if he says I am going to some other project, you will know, right? What will be the next step you have to do? You will say that we have to start on the development. It is not that you will not know what will happen next. So when you're following certain the software engineering techniques, it will help you to follow a process, so you are not somewhere stuck in between if someone leaves or something goes wrong. Okay, so this is, even though the first time it seems a little bit of takes more time, a little bit of more cost, but at the later stages of the software development or everything, it will be a good advantage or cheaper. Fine. Any doubts in that? Okay, I'll go to that slide. Any doubts? Okay. Now, process software process activities. I've already taught you or not taught you. Software process activities I've not taught you. See the slide? Done, ma'am. Okay. So whom shall I ask? Who will give me a explanation? Let me see. I'll call out names. As soon as I call out, I say I'll call out names. Some of the people will leave the meeting. Let me check. Tushar, you can you can unmute and answer, Tushar. Let me listen to your answers. You're in laptop. So what? You don't have a speaker? Yeah. Can you explain the software process activities? Okay, first software process activity. What do you mean by software specification? Yeah, can you explain the first stage in software process activity, that is software specification? What do we mean by that? Whatever you know. Okay. Fine. So we plan software development based on market requirements and what do you mean by financial? Okay, Tushar, leave a financial main thing. Maybe they will discuss this also, but the main aim of requirement specification is not financial. Okay. Hmm. Okay, Tushar gave one. Yes, market requirements. Fine. If it is a generic product, market requirements. If it is a customized product, who will give the requirements? Wait, I will ask someone. Suchita. Okay. Okay, Suchita, if it is a customized product, who will give the requirements? Tushar says client. So Suchita is not online but not answering. Next, Manasa. Where are all you guys? Sudhir, Rishita, Rishita Reddy, Janvi. Yes, Janvi. Who gives the requirements in case of customized product? All of you are sleeping. Okay, Kavya. Kavya, Chaitra. Only five or six of you are responding. The others are not even online. See, one thing I want to tell you, don't think like last semester you will not have exams. If you are under that impression, please remove that impression. University conducted fine exams for each semester students and it was a success. All students, 100% students attended the exam without any difficulty. They followed all norms for COVID and they did the exam. Still, back papers exams are going on. Some people are here, have backlog subject. I don't know whether they are attending in your class also. Even the backlog exams daily they are coming. All norms are being followed and everything is happening. So I don't know when they will start the college. Even though if they don't starting the college, if it takes time, I'm damn sure they will do the exam for you this semester. So please don't take it lightly. Once you come to college for offline classes, you may not get too much time. Okay. Only thing you will be busy is in writing internals and taking up exams. That time, even if I am ready to teach, you will not be in a position to learn. So I just want you to concentrate. I know the subject is difficult. That's why I'm taking my time and I'm explaining so much. And whenever I'm explaining, I'm also telling how to write it in the exams. So, yes, I know a little bit of boring, but it does not mean that you don't listen at all. Yes, those who are all sleeping, wake up. What do I mean by software specification? See, your entire textbook is divided into this. You have software specification in requirements, software requirements specification chapter. Development you have. Then you have software testing chapter for validation. Then you have maintenance and support in software evolution. Okay. So what do I mean by software specification? Here the customers or engineers of the software define the requirements or what the system should do. Now, if they say three things the system has to be done, like in the requirements, there will be three requirements. Let's say A and B and C. So The software specification will tell me what are the requirements. So if I say 1, 2, and 3 are the three requirements, yes, they give the requirements. If it is a customized product, then customers gives the requirement. If it is a generic product, the software engineers or the company come up with the requirements. Okay, but the requirements are given. So they will have a document known as SRS, Software Requirement Specification, which will be say what and all is expected of the software. Now what happens next stage is software development. Here the software is designed in the sense they come up with a design of what software it is developed, how to develop it. Now one example I can give you for design is if you are building a apartment or a house, will you have a plan or not? Will you simply go and build, or will you come up with a plan from the architect first? Yes, when you are building a house, will you not have a plan which is being designed by an architect? Yes, yes. Blueprint, architect, you have a plan, right? That is nothing but software designer. Now, what software you are developing, ma'am? How so there is a drawing like design? For software, what drawing? Yes, there are drawings for software also. You will learn them. Something like use case diagrams, activity diagrams, object oriented. There are n number of diagrams for software development. It is like a blueprint of your software. So this design comes through your requirements. Okay. So software is designed. After the design, it is programmed. Once you program it, then we test to check whether the requirements are satisfied. While checking, we see what and all are the requirements I had given: A, B, and C. In testing, I check whether A is working, B is working, C is working. So why I require a specification is while testing I will check what and all are given by this requirements. Ma'am, I would have developed, you would have said three. I will develop two and I will say this one I have not, you have not given only. Can I do that? Whenever a requirement specification, you prepare a document, all the stakeholders will sign on that document. Stakeholders in the sense the customer and the developer or the company which is developing it. See, understand, when I say these are the requirements, what they do is they will sign on it. I have three requirements, and these are the requirements which the customer will give. The company will see and say whether that is possible, and they will sign on it. Later, the company should not say that you have not given. The customer should not say after this, no, I don't want this. So, in order for everything to go finely, they will have this a document wherein they come up with this requirements written. Seeing that document, the developer will design and then develop the software. Seeing this document, he will check whether all the validation, that is the tester will check whether the developed software meets all the specification. Once it is tested, it is delivered to the customer. Both the customer and the company will check what and all they had given. Okay, whether it is satisfied. Here the customer will check once it is delivered. Now, yes, both are satisfied, it is delivered to the customer. After it is delivered, it may happen that the customer wants another requirement, that is D. So he has another requirement, let's say, for example, D. So during the evolution, again that requirement is developed and it is sent for again development validation. It will go on repeating. Did you understand the process? So tomorrow or next class, I will ask any of the people to prepare for this and give me a 5 minutes lecture on software process activities. Will you be able to give? See, I spoke for almost half an hour till yesterday, today, everything. So 5 minutes, can't you speak about it? Yes. So Monday's class, Monday I don't have your class. Tuesday when I have, I will take up. Fine. Can I proceed? So never forget these words and don't change the order. Can it ever be before development validation comes? Will it work? You are testing before developing. Can it happen? No. That's the reason I said when Kavya or someone gave me the steps, I said, please put it in the order. If you don't put it in the order, it will not have meaning. So I hope I explained why the order is also important. I know it is not easy to remember. In case you forget, leave a blank space. Don't change the order and give the answer. Okay? Almost in software engineering, all concepts they follow an order. So one cannot happen before the other. So most of the times, yes, it will become confusing. You'll forget about that. So during this times, leave 2 or 3 blank lines and go move on. Never waste your time thinking about anything in your software engineering exam. Otherwise, you'll never complete your paper. Okay. So what are the issues that affect the software? Fine. You have a topic known as what are the general issues that affect the software? I already told you heterogeneity. That is, systems are required to operate as distributed systems across a network that include different types of computer and mobile devices. Now, if you develop a software and say it will work only for certain devices but it will not work for others, then it is of no use. Now, though, because of the web based applications, your application should work across all the system within the network. Now, like a web page, VTO web page, it should work on your laptop, desktop, mobile device, everywhere, right? If you say it will not work in mobile device, will it be success or will people use it? No. Next is business and social changes. Now, software systems should be able to change, okay? They need to be able to change their existing software and to rapidly develop new software. Always new technologies come. So your system should be adaptable enough so that it will meet the whenever a new technology comes, it should be able to work or you should be make changes so that it will adapt to the new technology. Next is security and trust. As a software, it is intertwined with all aspects of our lives. It is essential that we can trust that software. Now, can someone say what is security and what is trust? With one example, real time example. If you are reading newspapers, you will see it on the front page itself. Security, what is security? What is trust? I will give you a clue. Facebook. Account hacks is what, sir? Security or trust? Aryan? Yeah, what is trust? BJP government is saying that they are not using, yeah, data leaks. Yeah, now the BJP state government is saying that they are not trusting Facebook. What does that mean? Yeah, data privacy is also that. Yeah, it means that they are using. Now, whatever I'm using, yes, it is following all security protocols. Yes, agreed. It is all following all security protocols, everything. There is, yes, all this hate speech or antitrust. Using your data for something else, or you're telling that political affiliation, or allowing one people to win, or allowing one community of people, or all these things, what is happening, we are saying that we don't have trust within that software, right? So yes, political and personal benefits, everything, data theft, all that comes under trust. So nowadays, because people are using so much software, these things are becoming primary issues. It's not that 10 years back no one would have said about trust, or okay, security they would have told. But nowadays, it's mostly about trust. We don't know what Facebook or Gmail or anyone is using your data for, right? For what they are using, we really don't know. But still, we are using those websites. One day I browse while my Facebook is open, I browse, or even my Facebook is not open. Let me say, I browse a Fab India web page, I go through it. Immediately, they have not taken my consent or anything. Next 1 week, every day, I will, while browsing any of their websites, I will get advertisement from them. Now, did I give my data to them? No. Then how are they getting my data? What did I browse? What did I use? Everything. Right? Yes, it is a topic which can we can discuss, go on and on. But let's stop it there. But I hope I gave you the difference between security and trust. Correct? Yes, sir. Amazon ad suggestion, Google speech, even our Alexa. The Alexa, even you though you would have said stop Alexa, it will be monitoring what and all you talk. Actually, it will be recording all data of us. Yes, sir. Everything. Okay. Next is software engineering diversity. So you can read it out. I'll drink some water so you people can read it out. Someone who is on microphone actually can read it out loud. Now that is what I said. There are no universal software engineering techniques. Excuse me. Based on the type of application being developed, requirements of the customer, and the other thing is background of the development team. What do I mean by this? I said, right? If it is a gaming application, if it is a mission critical application, what type of requirements the customer gives. Based on that, we will follow different methods. There is also another one factor known as background of the development. Now, if the development team is proficient in one type of technique and it is more suitable for the development, it is fine. That technique is sufficient for developing the product. They will use that rather than learning a new technique. I can give you an example. Assume you want to develop a website, and there are two technologies for developing a website. One is Java, and the other is .NET. Assume your team, you are well versed in Java, and there is .NET also. What would you prefer? You would prefer Java, right? Rather than learning something new and applying it. If Java can be used for developing, that means whatever technology I've learned earlier, you will use that. So similarly here, if the development team already have a knowledge about some technique, they will use that. Not and simply if they have knowledge, and if it is not applicable, then it is of no use. If it is applicable to that software and they have a knowledge, then they will prefer that. So background of the development team also plays an important role in software engineering application. Fine. Anything, any doubts in that? Okay. Next, there are different types of applications. Why different types of application are we studying, man? Because based on the application, you will apply your software engineering techniques. One is standalone application. What do you mean by standalone application? The application which runs on your system. Okay? Interactive interaction based system, that which has UI and all. Something like your websites, e-commerce applications, like that. E-commerce like your Amazon, Flipkart and all. While those are called interactive transaction, there you select. I mean, you suggest something, they give you answer. There is an interaction between the system and you, the user. So those are the interaction transaction based system. Embedded control systems. What do you mean by embedded control systems? Anyone can give an example for that? Yeah, example for embedded control system. Embedded control system? No, sir. I'm asking you for an application of that. Your software for your microwaves. Yeah, train signals. Fine. IoT devices. Yeah, your face recognition systems, which is installed in your home security based systems. Home security based system is a just in hardware IoT control system, wherein you have that device which recognizes your hand fingerprint or your face. Based on that, there is coding done. Okay, that is your embedded control system. That which involves electronics devices, chips, or something like that. Those are embedded control system. You see in home automation systems and in your transportation systems, like your GPS tracking systems and all. Yeah, they will have a chip or a tracker in your devices in your vehicles, right? And there is a software which controls those devices. Those are embedded control systems. Did you get it? Embedded control systems. What does it mean? So, can someone else give me an example for embedded control system? Digital watches, yes. DVD players. Okay. Mobile phones. Yeah, digital medical equipments. Yes, yes, yes. That's a good one. Digital medical equipments. NFC, what does NFC mean? I don't know, Tushar. Expand NFC. Yeah, home automation devices. Everything in home automation devices comes under this category. Yes, Tushar, what is NFC? Then I want to know. Cameras, okay. Digital cameras, fire alarms, close proximity data sensor. Okay, fine. But what was your earlier example when you gave NFC meant? That is only close proximity data center sensor. Okay, fine, fine. Yes, sir. The attendance print fingerprint scanner. I think last year we had in our college only. Some of the students took it for their project, and they, because they spoiled something with that device, we could not do attendance for 3 4 days. Industrial robots. Yes, sir. Okay, fine. Next is batch processing system. What do I mean by batch processing system? Earlier batch processing system, we don't see it in desktop. Basically, we see it in servers. Whenever they are doing, okay, um, let's say for example, your Google server or your Facebook servers, what they do now, everyone every day they would have so many things updated and all, right? What they do for processing it, storing it in a database, retrieving and all, they do batch processing. That is, they during they will run those without user interaction. Like, what example can I give you, people? Hmm. Something which does not require user interaction, like taking backup of your systems. Or let's take for example, you want to update your system or your operating system. Okay, it says, right, system ready for updates. Do you do it when you are working in your, you are playing a game and you are almost scoring in some level? You are, if it asks for updates, do you do it during that time? No, right? Before night sleeping, what do you do before shutting down the system? Update and shut down you give and go, right? These batch processing systems are like that, which are necessary, but it does not require your interaction. Those things are batch processing system. Okay. Next is entertainment systems. Now, all your you use your games and some interaction systems, right? They all come under entertainment system. Next, you have system modeling and simulation. This is about physical processes, situations, interacting objects, all that. Now, those robots and all come under this modeling and simulation. Not only robots, the aircraft systems, uh, something like your robots, your car driving, mechanical devices management, all that come under simulation and modeling. Did you had the CAD lab? Yes, there you would have learned, right? Simulating different object structures and everything. That is nothing but system simulation. Apart from that, you have data collection system. Basically, they store all the data from different systems. Okay, like your servers. Systems of systems. We are systems that are composed of number of other software systems. You can say client server system which manages others, all of that. So these are the main kinds of system. For these systems, we, for development of these systems, there are different software engineering techniques. Now, you learn different types of software systems, right? Irrespective of the type of software systems, there are certain development techniques that should be followed by all the softwares. First one, they should be developed using a managed and understandable development process. Different processes are used for different types of software. software. So the development should happen based on a process. But what process I apply, it depends upon the type. Dependability and performance are important. Now, no matter it is a web application, it is what a mission critical application or interactive systems or batch, it should be dependable. Okay, whatever is expected of it, it should perform, and it should performance should happen within a particular time limit. Understanding and managing the software specification and requirements are also important. You should be able to manage the requirements and specification and reuse it, and development, that is evolution and maintenance, should be easier. Okay, this is not required. Web-based systems, no, I don't require this. Okay, so these are the key points which you studied. Please go through these points. I'll open your attendance by then. Okay. Yes, I think I've explained all of these points. Anything if you did not understand, please let me know. So shall I stop sharing and take the attendance? What is it, Chetan? Shall I take your attendance? Okay, please, when I ask tell your USNs, just give P and your number, P1 or 2, that USN based on that. Because if I miss, that's the reason. So even though if I missed, I can see what you have. So let's start. USN 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, yeah, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, Bhargav, 27, 27, okay, 28, 29, 30, 31, 32, 33, 34, 35, 36, 37, 38, 39, 40, 41, 42, 43, 42 is not present. Okay. 44, 45, 46, Ganesh, 46, okay. 47, 48, 49, 50, yeah, 51, 52, 53, 54, 55, 56, 57, 58, 59, 60, 61, 62, 63, 83, Mohan, 63, 63 is absent. Mohan, did I ask you yours? 63 absent, okay. 64, 65, 66, 67, 68, 69, 70, 69, Kushi, 70, 71, 72, 73, 74, 70, 74, Madhusudan, 75, 76, 77, 78, 79, 80, 81, 82, 83, 84, Monish, 85, 86, 87, 88, 89, 90. So let's wind up the class today. Next class, I'll start with software engineering ethics. Okay. And I think I